A few days ago, a friend of mine posted a little Japanese quote, and it's carrying snow to fill a well. And it was from, I understand it's a Zen Japanese saying. And it basically points to futile action, or what we would describe as futile action, pointless, meaningless action. Putting snow in a well with water to fill it up, it's just meaningless. But then thinking about it, thinking about our lives, we divide everything, we separate everything in our lives into things we like, things we don't like, things we need, things we don't need, things we appreciate, things we don't, things that are beneficial, things that are not beneficial. There's always a judgment of value to things, which is how we function in the world. If we removed all the futile or things we consider pointless, if we remove them from our existence, I'm guessing life would be a little bit less interesting. It would be sort of boring, maybe, barren. Here's the gist, the thing that I thought about for the past couple of days regarding this particular saying, carrying snow to fill a well. For us as Buddhist practitioners, as Zen practitioners, we have the understanding that life is based on connections. Nothing exists on its own. Everything is everything else. The existence of every single individual thing depends upon every single other individual thing. We call it emptiness. We call it impermanence. We even have a gatha that we recite mostly during our rohats session, which is for entering the bathroom. And we remind ourselves that the reality of interdependence is supreme. So armed with that understanding, we can operate from a different perspective. If everything is empty, if everything is impermanent, and everything is interdependent, then from one perspective, all action is futile action. There is nothing that we can do that lasts forever. There is nothing that we can do or be that's not subject to change and impermanence. And so that understanding shapes the way we function in the world. If all action is futile action, then all action is equally important. That's a fundamental shift in our perspective, I think. To look at every single thing in our life as important, just as important as everything else. Putting aside judgments of, I like this, I don't like this, I want this, I don't want this. Armed with the understanding of that interdependence, that's unsurpassable, as we say in our Gatha. We understand that every moment, every action, the reliable facts of existence right here, now, they are our entire life. So in every moment, we have the option of fully pouring ourselves into that activity of being here and now, existing. Or we can squander our life by dismissing, disliking, rejecting what is. This is futile action, this is beneficial action. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that we don't make choices. We make choices in our day-to-day life. We choose to do things that are good for others, things that are good for ourselves. We choose beneficial action instead of harmful action. We choose compassion over hatred. We choose tolerance over discrimination. We make choices every day, but not everything is up to us to choose. Sometimes we are thrown into situations that we have no control out of. Those too are our entire life in this very moment. So, carrying snow, that seemingly pointless action, saves our life. Instead of us looking at our life in every moment and it looks like the enemy, it looks like something that's a burden, we can look at it as carrying snow. I don't know if the well's going to be filled up. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be filled up with snow. But the only action that I'm doing right now is carrying the snow. So we boldly, wholeheartedly pour ourselves into that action, whatever that action is in our day-to-day life. We have a saying in our Soto Zen tradition, which is that dignified decorum is itself Buddha Dharma. I think it points to the same thing. The only moment, place, space in which we can manifest the Buddha Dharma, we can give it voice, we can embody enlightenment, is here and now. In this very action. The reliable fact, as Nishijima Roshi would call it, is existence right here and right now. And so our Buddhist practice arms us with that clarity when it comes to living life, where we understand that although we make choices sometimes, and we have to discriminate against things to be able to function in this world of duality, behind all that, the field is leveled. Everything is subject to impermanence. Everything is subject to change. Everything is as important as everything else when we remove preferences. The way is easy if you just avoid picking and choosing is another very famous saying. So we can take that and apply it to every single thing that happens in our life that becomes difficult for us. The same thing applies to our sitting. We say Zazen is good for nothing. Why do we do it? Same reason. Dignified decorum is Buddha Dharma itself. The action here and now is the embodiment of Buddha nature, of enlightenment. We don't need to discriminate it and call it beneficial or harmful. It is just the reliable fact of existence right here. So carrying snow to fill the well might not be such a pointless action after all, I think. think I'm going to stop here. Thank you.